This is Greg Noyes of Pacific West Home Inspections, and I'm doing a home inspection today in Tarzana. Today's Tuesday, July 29th, and from the bucket here, I know the sewer guys here. That's this bucket. And walking up to the house today, I noticed you had a cow shake roof, and this is a replacement type of material they use to assimilate wood shingles that the original house had on, and they've had nothing but problems with this type of roofing, and you can't walk on it, and you can see this is older. The covering comes off, but it gets cracks. They cracks with weather, so you got cracks all through here. So basically this is a roof needs to be replaced. It's about $25,000 to $30,000 to replace them. So I'm going to recommend you get a roofing specialist out here, and he can verify my findings. But this is what you have. You can see all the repairs they've done. This is one little area, 10 by 10. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 cracked tiles, and it's all through the roof here. I'm going to go to the back of the roof, and there's a low slope there, and we'll get a better view from there. There is gutters all the way around the house. There's a tree up front here, and the gutters are clean, so that's a good thing. So the next thing we'll do, we're going to look at the roof at the rear of the house. So I'm at the rear of the house, and the same story. You got the cracking and these cow shake, and cracking, more cracking over here, cracking, cracked tiles, and so the company's gone bankrupt, but someone told me 3 times, so they never seem to get their act together. The product's got wood fibers in it. What happens, moisture gets in the surface, and then the wood fibers absorb water and then expand and blow out and crack the tile roofs. So you got a masonry chimney up here. There's some, it doesn't have a rain cap on it, and some cracks in the in your chimney cap here, and then you got some vertical cracks on the side here coming down, following down the grout lines. So on this, I'm going to recommend you get a chimney inspection done so they can drop a camera down through the flue and see what that looks like. On your patio, you have we call a 90 weight type of material. It's roofing material. It works very well. You see the little tar coming out. We call that spill out. We like to see that, so we know it's a nice solid seam at the joints, and it's probably about 10-12 years old. Typically it lasts about 15 years. And then where it comes into the roof line, there's some deterioration on the transition here, so that needs to somebody needs to come by and do some repair work there. So that's what we have for the roof. The next thing we're going to do is cover how to shut off the different utilities. We're going to look at the electrical, gas, and water. That'll be next on the agenda. There's a pool in the rear of the house. There's no perimeter fence around it, and the plaster is deteriorated at the steps, so it's getting to the end of its serviceable life. And got a little wood deck here. You see there's wide gaps there. That'd be a trip hazard. Oh, I want to cover something else here. The flue exhausts for your water heaters, they're low. We like to see them up 2 feet above the roof line. And then the hall water heater's got a transite type of vent on that, and we'd like to see a metal vent. So we'll look at your power next. So at the rear of a house is your main electrical panel, and it's a 200 amp. It's plenty big enough for the house. It's a nice size, and that's what we, if it was built today, that's what they would put in. And some of the labeling here it's not distinguishable. It doesn't tell you where it's located, what bedroom or what family room. So lights and plugs, and that should be corrected. And I'll open up this here in a little bit. And then the very back of the house here, there's a switch. This is your pool light switch, and your pool light is protected by a GFI, which we like to see. Now on the right exterior of the house is your gas meter, and that's what we'll look at next. If your pool light stops working, you may want to check this switch here first. This is the GFI protection for your pool light, and sometimes they will snap off. This pipe over here is your gas line going out to your pool heater, and seeing that you don't have a spa with your pool, it'll be very expensive to heat your pool because it's about 16 to 20,000 gallons. And it could be $150 to $200 weekend for you if you try to heat it. In the valley here, we do have a longer pool season than if you're over in the LA side. And there's another valve over here. This is the older pool fill. And you can see it's backing up, so it's no longer it's stopped up somewhere, and they've been using a hose now. The owner told me they put a French drain system in all the way around the house, and I'm working to the right side of the house, and you'll find a sump pump pit here, which is this thing here, and over here you got your AC unit, you got the crawl space opening, and you have this big gas meter here. To manually shut off the gas, it's this valve here. When it's up and down, it's on. When you turn with the wrench sideways, it's off. And seeing we're in the city of LA, it is required to have a seismic gas shutoff valve, and which you do have. And on a 5.4 earthquake, that'll automatically shut off. This is the AC unit out here, and it's a 2002 Linux 4-ton. And over here you have some electrical outlet here, and we like to see a plastic dome type of cover here, so when you plug things in, water can't get in there. So we call that a weatherproof cap. And there's some low voltage lights here. When I'm under the house, I'll find out where they go. You have gutters throughout the roof edges. So that's good. You have ivy up in the hills here, the slopes, and that's a good place for rodents. And then in the back of the right side, you have a access panel for your whirlpool in your bathroom. I'm going to take the cover off here. So they have the access hatch here, but there's no pump. They have the access to the orientation wrong, so there's no way you can service your pump from here. But I'll get a light out later and do a little bit more looking around here. And I found another access hole, and so we have plenty of room to service your pump for your whirlpool. And I'll fill it up and run the pump and then check for leaks from this point here. Before we go out front to the where the water shutoff is, we'll talk about the pool a little bit. There's no perimeter fence around the pool, so there's access, direct access from the house to the pool. And when it was built, there was not a requirement, but for safety reasons, you want to put one in. At the very bottom of the pool, there's a drain cover. It's a flat type, and we like to see it raised, and they call it an anti-vortex. So if a child sat on it, they wouldn't be pulled down. All the way around the pool, as we mentioned, no fence. The deterioration of the plaster and the steps. So this is a let you know this is what the future is going to lie for you. And typically they replace the plaster every 10 years in a pool. There's some uplifting on the pool deck here. I'll bring the camera around so you get a... And so that would be a trip hazard. And in the very rear of the yard is your pool equipment, and we'll take a look at that. So there's a heater out here, pool heater, and the original pool had copper lines. So there's a lot of work that's been done out here. It's got the newer PVC lines, and there's a diatomaceous earth filter, a pump, and a gauge there. And let me see if we can step over this stuff. And it's a 2007 filter. And this gauge here is like the speedometer of a car. It tells you exactly what's going on with the pool. When the gauge gets up to about 25 pounds of pressure, it's time to backwash the system. And you've got your pool pump here, so 1 horsepower. And it's missing we call it a wire to the back of the pool. That's a grounding or bonding wire. That would give you additional safety. So that would be all in the report. And the pool heater, let's see if we can start this up here. On the mode switch, you click that on. When you get the first click, you get a reading here, and then your heater will turn on and fire up. And it's hot, so it's working today. And later on I'll take the door off here to check for any rodents and things like that. So I'm going to turn it off now. I'm just going to hit the mode switch, and that's it. They have a little barbecue area and wood deck in the back. You can see there's big gaps here between the boards, so if you're having a party and the ladies have high heels on, that will be a trip hazard for you. And then they have a gas barbecue pit here. Appears to be older. Barbecue galore. They have parts for these, so we don't test them, but you can get the parts and it can be serviced. And they typically last about 10 years. I'll look at that here in a little bit. So I finally made it back to the front of the house, and this is where your main shutoff valve is for your water. And this handle here is, we call it a ball valve. And you bring it up and it will shut the water off. It's a 1-inch supply pipe, copper. And you notice that there is a blue meter here, another water meter. And this system, they've hooked up 2 meters. And this will save you some money. Out in the valley, they were charging for years, charging homeowners sewer tax on irrigation water. And with our large lots out here, we're paying too much. So the city allows us to meter our irrigation water, and then so you only pay tax on your water used for your house that goes through the sewer plant. So this is a savings right here for you. This is a pressure regulator, and I'll take a pressure test, make sure it's working. And they have a threaded piece here, which we don't like to see, and that's your pressure relief valve. So that's what you have. That pretty much sums up the house. The roof is going to be the big item here today. This is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I could be reached at 818-271-0417 or on the web www.ehomeinspector.com.